All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Georgia, back-to-back champions, back-to-back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon, back-to-back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa. I mean, you have to be optimistic when you're the champ, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. The offense is stacked, at least the skill position players are. Running back room is loaded. They have the best tight end in America and Brock Bowers. They got Mississippi State's and Missouri's top receivers in the transfer portal, and Ra Thomas and Lovett. Lovett's a guy who I like particularly. It's an explosive guy, can get downfield. The defense returns a ton of starters and a ton of talent. Kirby Smart is looking like the best coach in college football. What's not to love? We go for reasons for concern would be the QB competition. This was a competition where I thought Beck was going to win outright, but it's still a competition as the season inches closer. Vandergriff is also in the competition as well. And, I've said this a couple of times when I've done this preview on the college football contenders. If you have two quarterbacks, you often means that you have none. I would have to do my research on it, but I think it's very, very rare that you have a situation where you have a battle going this deep in camp and it turns out to be fortuitous. I believe there was a nominal battle the year that Mac Jones won the title in the pandemic shortened season. I think Bryce Young gave him a run for his money. That worked out well, but I don't think it was a true battle, especially because Bryce Young had the years to wait behind him. So there was no real urgency on that side. So we'll see what happens with that. Another reason for concern is it's just another year of a long, deep run into the playoffs. You are dealing with kids, and some of them have not been in the run, so maybe it doesn't wear on them. But they have lost a lot of talent to the NFL the past couple of years, and even for a place like Georgia, after a while, just replacing bodies with superstar players in college football, it's kind of hard to do. They've lost both of their D tackles on consecutive years, pass rushers in consecutive years. So defensively, it's going to be hard to see them continue to be the dominant unit. I think there's going to be some growing pains on that side. So, just the attrition of losing people is a reason for concern. When you look at the schedule, it's a downy soft schedule. They probably will be favored by double-digit points in every game till they play Tennessee in November. Now, they do play South Carolina early. South Carolina that has Spencer Rattler, who really came on towards the end of last year. Spencer Rattler, who was in Heisman conversations previously. Spencer Rattler, who was in number one overall pick conversations in the NFL recently. So the kid obviously has the talent. It's an SEC team. They were able to put some points up on the board towards the end of the year. So, especially a team that's in a quarterback battle, playing a team like that so early, that's a game that you have to look out for. Ole Miss will be desperate. They have a veteran quarterback in Jackson Dart, who I actually liked. I don't know why Lane Kiffin got all these other quarterbacks, Spencer Sanders and Howard. This isn't best ball in fantasy football. You don't get points from your backup quarterback. So I don't really understand that, but that's going to be an interesting game. And then there's the game at Tennessee. Tennessee has a better quarterback than they did last year, in my personal opinion, with Milton over Hooker. I thought watching the game last year, there were some opportunities and a lot of plays that were left on the field by Hooker. I think Milton is a more willing thrower and a more athletic player that can escape pressure. Again, this is not going to be the same defensive front that they played last year. So that's a game to cause them concern. But Tennessee lost a lot, especially on the offensive side of the ball with their skill position, the two receivers that got drafted, the left tackle that was drafted high, the quarterback that was obviously drafted. So they're going through some changes as well. So when I get to the final prediction, just because the schedule is so soft, and I've seen Beck play, and he was very accurate with the football in the mop-up duty that I saw. So I expect him to possibly win it. I think that they have a great opportunity to get back to the SEC championship game, and we'll see what happens from there. I think that they definitely have a glide path to the playoffs. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt because of that back to back. There's no true thing as a defending champion. I mean, everybody has to go through the tournament and go through the regular season and earn their spot like everyone else. But a team like Georgia, who's won it twice, is going to give the benefit of the doubt for the voters. It just is. If it's going to be the ties goes to the champ, to beat the champ, you're going to have to really beat him and knock him out. And if there's a situation where they're one loss or they're two loss going against another two loss team, they're going to get the tie. So you have to feel optimistic about that. We'll see what happens when we get in. I truly believe this is probably the deepest year that I've seen in college football playoffs in a long time, where I think about 8 teams legitimately. If you don't really have to squint your eyes to see a team winning a national championship. And George is definitely in that mix. So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and as always, the game is the game.